and you. Okay, let's have some fun. All right, here we go. All right, boys and girls, welcome back to Surviving Hollywood. I'm Johnny Ray Diaz.
I'm Aaron Arnold.
I'm Austin Arnold.
Today we've got a special guest with us today.
I'm so
actress.
tempted to just introduce myself.
Whoa,
Go ahead, please.
Jumping in.
Alex Rose Weisel. I just saved him because my last name is really crappy.
I was about to mess it up.
This guy was
You
up.
would not. You would have done it. I believe in you, but I was just saving you just in case.
He had flashcards.
I did. Okay.
Alex, appreciate you being here.
Yeah.
I'm excited to be here.
Now, we know you because we worked with you on your show, but how would our audience know you?
I mean, maybe the same show if you are a preteen.
Please
to
go
child.
on.
I'm a
They
huge
worked
fan.
you are, exactly.
Oh.
No, they worked on a Brat show with me called Hotel Du Loone.
And Brat is a network
Yeah,
for the
Brat-
folks at home.
Brat, for the folks at home, you can look on YouTube. Brat's a network on YouTube.
Huge following.
They
When
do
I
have a huge
first
following.
heard that, I always thought of like the doll, like the Brats, the dolls.
Right.
That's what I
That
thought they had their own
that's-
network for a second. I'm like, wow.
That would be logical.
I don't know.
That's
I'm
so
not
90s,
thinking
dude.
properly.
So
All right.
90s.
Are Bratz dolls 90s?
Or early 2000s.
I think early
It has to be
2000s.
early 2000s because I was a kid in the 90s and I never had those.
We never played with
They're
them.
timeless.
There you go.
Maybe that's what it is.
So yeah, and the show is called Hotel Du Loone on Brat.
Yes.
You're a lead. Now, we were just there for one day, but
Yeah, but it's
Yeah.
episode 4,
That's
the
right.
babysitter episode.
Check it out.
Uh-oh.
And what is Brat, or what is Hotel Du Loone for? Just a quick synopsis.
Oh, sure. It's a multi-camera sitcom geared toward kids.
That's all takes place in a hotel,
Yep.
and crazy adventures happen with these kids.
Yeah, your description is way better than mine.
Okay, go on.
You're like, what is the show about again? Austin, please
Oh
tell
my gosh,
us.
it was a while since we filmed. It was almost a year ago that we filmed.
Wow, that's all we remember.
Yeah, that's it.
But you've been in. That's not the only thing you've done. You've been in LA.
I actually looked up her IMDb if I can just. These are a few of the.
Oh, rattle them off,
the
please.
credits.
Jimmy Kimmel
See,
too, yeah?
Done a lot of Jimmy Kimmel.
Okay.
There's a common theme here. So we have Bikini Girl.
Oh, no.
We have Beautiful Girl.
Oh, those are Jimmy Kimmel credits.
We
Those
have-
are,
Old Navy Beach Girl.
these are Jimmy Kimmel. These are all Kimmel.
Okay.
Cute Nerdy Girl. That wasn't Jimmy Kimmel.
Oh, well, close.
Have you ever thought of challenging yourself as an actress and going for somebody not good looking?
It's easier to play like against your type, right? So I
Oh,
would
there you go.
probably be more successful. I should probably.
You got to tell your agent, stop sending me for all these roles. I'm just kidding.
That's what I always say. I'm like, gosh, just stop submitting me.
Just
You guys
please.
submit me so much, and I get so many auditions. I'm just please, too busy. Stop.
Are you with Littman?
Haley?
Because Johnny's with Littman.
I'm with Littman, actually.
With Haley?
Yeah.
Oh,
well,
amazing.
I'm technically with Danita, but I know Haley.
Okay, yeah. I actually, Toby, who is the main boy on Hotel Du Loone,
Oh.
Toby Gray.
Red-haired guy.
No,
No, he's a
the,
kid.
the
Little kid,
child.
little
Yeah,
kid.
not the adult. His mom, I met her on set, and I had just lost my rep, and she became my manager, and she introduced me to Haley.
Sweet.
Whoa.
Yeah,
Awesome.
all happened on Hotel Du Loone.
Whoa, that's the kind
Wow.
of questions that people have at home. They write us all the time saying, how do you get an agent? How do you get an agent?
Well, I had really great, amazing representation, and I lost them all right before I booked Hotel Du Loone.
Wow.
So it was just good timing.
Did they encourage you not to take Hotel Du Loone? Because it's,
They didn't even really know I took it because they were out of my life at that point.
I like it.
You fired him.
I did not. I wish that was the case. Again, not quite that cool.
Can you kind of tell us a little bit, if you don't mind talking about it, like what may have happened? Because I know this
Oh,
happens
sure.
with
Oh,
actors
no. But
here
it's
and
like,
there. So
look,
it's like,
everything. I feel like representation is like dating too. Like it's, there's always breakups, things happen, and it was nice. Like we left on good terms.
sometimes
Both
you
of them.
don't connect.
sometimes somebody gets pregnant.
Yeah, no, I mean it wasn't either of those things. But my manager, his mom was sick, and he had to move to New York, and he wasn't
Wow.
doing,
Wasn't doing much. Had other priorities.
Yeah, so he moved to
Exactly.
New York. He kept some clients, but it wasn't going to work for me.
Right.
And my agent, she went from Abrams to CAA, so she could not take me, and
Oh,
she
wow.
didn't. But that's okay. That's okay. I love her. I
But
still love her.
You still, keep in touch.
She
You
can
still know
always
her.
submit you if there's a perfect project.
That has happened.
Yeah.
Wow,
You never
nice.
know.
Yeah, that has happened.
It's good to have that in like in your wheelhouse. You know what I mean? To be able to do that.
I'm not mad about it.
No. Not at all.
She's a wonderful person.
And I do want to get to present day, but just, on this podcast, we like to hear the full story. You're from San Diego, you said?
Yeah, so we brought it up because these guys are drinking some beers that are from a pizza place that I grew up going to.
And we are looking for sponsors.
Shout out to Pizza Port San Diego.
Okay.
We know you're listening.
Delicious, by the way. So
Yeah,
refreshing.
see?
But how'd you give us the story? How'd you make your way from there? How did it all start?
I didn't really think I wanted to do acting. I didn't love high school, like actually going to school, and I was doing like a lot of plays like outside of school and kind of like ditching high school. Yet I applied to like all these colleges and thought maybe I'd go for like journalism or writing or something. And then last minute, I auditioned for a conservatory in Los Angeles and scrapped all my other plans and decided I would come up here. And so I went for theater, and I did theater for a little bit and quickly learned that that was not going to work for me, especially if I wanted to stay in California. And then started doing TV and film and really liked it.
You did the theater as the conservatory. That's what you're saying?
Yeah, and then I did some shows like locally, and I flew out to New York and auditioned for some things. And I'm 5'9", and especially at like 19, I look like I should be a really good dancer, and I'm not. So it didn't really work on the whole Broadway route. But it's fine. It wasn't meant to be.
But it's that simple. You just said, I think I'm just going to do TV and film, and all of a sudden you just booked a bunch of TV and film.
No, that's not what happened. I've been here for 13 years, you guys. Don't get it twisted.
Yeah. So doing the theater at the conservatory, do you think that actually helped you with the film and TV stuff, or it actually was more detrimental?
No, my favorite thing about doing that is it was a way to get to LA, and I think LA is really scary to move to LA and not know anyone. And I think I was really lucky to go to LA and instantly be surrounded and meet a bunch of like-minded people who were also the majority of them fresh out of high school. And if not, they were, moving to LA and really wanted to get into the industry, whatever. So I made a lot of friends, and it made it really easy to kind of stay in LA and grind after high school. And that was really helpful.
Nice. Friends in this conservatory?
Yeah, because it was like my college experience. So that's, I met a lot of new people. And
which conservatory? Or unless you don't
I went to AMDA for 2 years. For musical theater. It's in Hollywood. Yeah.
Soprano?
Have heard of it.
I am. I've lived as
I thought so.
Haven't been asked that question in years.
Very cool. And you had to audition to get into that place, right?
I did, yeah.
How was that? If you remember, I know it was a long time ago.
That was a long time ago. I'm old. No, but it's true.
It's not true.
Yeah, a little bit true. But I remember auditioning for it, and then I grew up on the movie Clueless, and my favorite thing about the movie Clueless is that
Paul Rudd.
It's a great movie. Well, it's not Paul Rudd, but I do love Paul Rudd. My favorite thing about the movie is that she argues her way to get what she wants. Do you remember that? She argues her way to get an A in school. And
I've never seen Clueless.
Oh,
really?
No.
It played on TBS all the time.
Yeah, they played all the time.
That one.
Well, now you have to watch because I'm going to tell you a great story about it.
I've seen the clips and stuff, but yeah.
Okay, well, there's part of it that a lot of people don't recognize, I guess, that I really connected to about how to get straight A's in high school, she negotiates with all of her teachers to get straight A's. She'll do extra credit or whatever. And I was like, oh, I like that theme. So I remember auditioning for AMDA. Oh, I'm so sorry. I just hit the mic. I'm sorry.
Don't get angry.
I'm so sorry. When I auditioned, I called, they offered me a little scholarship, and I remember calling them and being like, well, Chapman offered me this big of a scholarship.
Wow.
And I negotiated my way into going to make it cheaper for my parents.
Risky.
Yeah.
Could be risky.
Yeah. It worked.
Nice.
Highly recommend Clueless as a lifestyle choice for everyone.
There it is.
Wow.
Were your parents really supportive of you doing this endeavor? How was that whole thing?
Yeah. Someone asked me this question the other day. Actually on a dating app. How sad is that? But
great opening line, bud.
No, they were like, yeah, do your parents support your career? And I was like,
okay.
That's strange, but I want to answer it at the
Good
same
egg.
time.
All right.
Yeah, it is kind of an egg.
You were on Sugar Daddies?
I wish. I should probably. That's probably a better investment of my time. No, but they asked if my parents were supportive, and my answer was oh yeah, no, my parents have always been really supportive, but I think both my parents and I thought by this time I would be further along than I am. I don't know, maybe people relate to that living in LA, but I think both of us really strongly believed in me and my career. And not that I haven't had success or had fun things happen.
You've had some great
Well, thank you for saying a ton, but I not enough to be maybe where I wanted to be at age 30, which is how old I am. So I think that's, my parents are supportive, yes, but I think both of us feel
It's all
a
relative,
slight
though,
disappointment in the world.
because there's some people who are 30 who haven't done half the stuff that you've done.
That's true. It's totally relative,
Yeah.
and that's the biggest thing about acting or arts in general is there's nothing to compare to. It's not
Right.
a career, of like a doctor where you go from like residency to whatever.
Yeah, there's no plan, no
there's no
structure
ladder, yeah.
necessarily. I always like to think that you're always like one audition away anyway.
That's true. Well, it could change tomorrow.
Exactly. You could
Yeah.
book something, your whole life could take off in a
One
different direction.
podcast away.
That's it.
This is it. Tomorrow
the
it
one,
changes.
guys. This is the one.
Wow. So I want to pivot a little, and if you're a guy or girl in LA and you want to meet people, what are the best dating apps?
Oh, this is a terrible question.
You
for
brought
me.
it up.
I did bring it up. I was in a really long relationship. I was like in a relationship for 6 years. So I missed, and that ended like 2 years ago. So I missed the entire
The whole
resurgence of online dating.
online
Like I
dating
missed
stuff.
all of like when Tinder came out, when Bumble came out. Like I was in a relationship, didn't care about any of it.
And now you have all of them.
Well, I've signed on a couple.
They're not as good as they used to be.
Well, I don't even know what they used to be. So who knows? I went on one and I lasted for an hour. And I saw 2 of my long-term exes on it, which is hilarious. And I screenshotted all their profiles on Bumble. But then I got some weird Facebook message from some guy that I didn't even know. And he was like, oh, you swiping on Bumble with a screenshot of my profile. And I was like, oh, this is super creepy. Off I go.
Stalker.
Yeah. So I got off it in an hour and I was like, well, that's not going to work.
By the way, sorry about that.
Yeah.
I'll forgive you this once, but you better watch
okay.
it.
There we go.
I am on a one dating app, but
We'll keep that off the mics,
Yeah.
it's a
So where
very
can people
LA
find you on the dating app?
it's a very LA dating app. If you know what I mean, you will find me there. But it's not a great app. None of the apps are that great. I don't know where you meet people. If I knew, I wouldn't be single.
On Bumble though, the girl has to make the opening line.
Is it? I don't know what it looks like for the guys, but it was terrifying on Bumble for me. I did not enjoy my hour that I was on it. My 60 minutes were full of terror.
I've never used Bumble, but people say that's the new thing, right? I don't know.
You're single now. Why don't you get on it?
I'm not on anything, so I don't really.
This
I
isn't
just
Johnny's
don't.
interview, buddy.
Yeah, it's not about
It's a
me. all right?
conversation.
I enjoy
Not about
changing
me.
the focus though. So I'm like, hey.
Let's
Yeah.
shift everything back to you.
I couldn't it's hard. I'm not talking about back in the day, but I think it's hard to meet up with people on Tinder and Bumble now. Nobody wants to meet up. Maybe it's me.
I think it's just hard in the city in general, right? I
No,
would
but
say.
it is hard. I think the hardest thing for me with online dating is it's really hard to know who you have a connection to. You can't tell from pictures, and it almost feels like when you get on those apps, you're people shopping.
Right.
Which just feels gross and weird. And if someone swiped on you, why did they swipe? It's not something cute you said or your amazing personality.
And then you think you like somebody, and then you're kind of into them. Then they tell you that they want to meet up with you. Then you're like, oh, I could probably do better. Let me.
Okay.
No, it is. It's and it is super grass is always greener mentality. Dating apps are not. I don't think they're helpful. Well, in my experience, it has not been helpful in my dating world. But
Yeah.
maybe hey, same thing as acting. It could all change tomorrow.
Could all
true.
change tomorrow. One swipe away.
I'm one swipe away.
There you go.
Very interesting. We're not gonna, as much as this isn't a dating podcast, as much
Not
as
at all. So let's switch.
But
the
we're all
focus.
deeply intrigued.
That's right.
I mean, this is LA life, and it's
Yeah.
part of it.
Hey,
it's part of the
LA life.
process. Yeah.
That's very true. But
So I think the question Austin wanted to ask was, what was your favorite part about working with us on episode 4, Sleepover?
Well, I could say that my least favorite part is that we didn't really have any scenes together, and that's super
Scene
disappointing.
adjacent, scene
yeah,
adjacent.
we were scene adjacent.
that's right.
I saw them on set, never behind the camera together. So
Yeah.
I didn't even really. I was like, wait, what? Remind me of the episode that you guys were in. But that episode, I wasn't even in my normal locale of the whole season.
Right.
And you guys were.
That's right.
Where I normally hang
We
out. I
filled
was
in.
not. Yeah, you were.
So what was your character on the show? Can you talk about that
Yeah,
a little
she's
bit?
the receptionist that kind of helps the kids, and she has a fun love triangle between 2 of the main.
Not the kids.
I was gonna say,
This is
whoa,
not, no,
different
she has a love
show.
triangle between the 2 younger male adults. We're all kind of young adults, the 3 of us, yeah.
Nice. And how did you guys fit into the episode? What was the
We were
situation
the-
there?
Disgruntled hotel guests.
We didn't even audition for the thing. We actually, Austin and I, Kelly Knox Casting?
Yeah, Kelly's awesome.
Yeah,
He
Kelly's
is awesome.
So that's the casting office that cast us, but we actually auditioned 3 weeks or a month before for a Kit Kat commercial.
Yeah.
They were casting twins for a Kit Kat commercial, but they were casting Hispanic twins. So we're already...
Why didn't I get called in?
we're pretty sure we weren't going to get it.
As
So
we're walking
we're
in,
pretty free and outcome independent as we're doing the...
as we're walking in, Kelly asks, "Oh, you guys are Latino or whatever?" and Aaron's like, "Yeah, we're Latino, like Louis C.K.'s Latino."
Except without the sexual problems. So that's when he was going through some stuff. And then Kelly Knox laughed out loud, and then we were just the Kelly was like, "Did you get the sides?" And we like legitimately we didn't have the sides. And so Kelly's like, well, here they are. And then we like stopped the room. We're like, all right, well, give us about 45 seconds. We just need to review this so we can like do it well. Anyways, Kelly was very shocked just how, I don't know. We were pretty funny and like different from everybody else because we didn't have the sides. So
we also
Well,
didn't.
also, you guys don't look crazy Latino.
Not
I
at
hate
all.
to break it to you. Yeah.
Which is why you got it.
Which is why they didn't cast us.
We
for
didn't
that
get
Kit
it.
Kat commercial. Like,
But then he
called us and saying, "Hey, I got this other role, two angry customers on Hotel Du Loone." We were like, "Yeah, let's do it."
I was gonna say Kelly mostly does commercials mostly, right?
he
He
does
went in for a
commercials, and
commercial.
he does a bunch
I
of
think he does
brat
all the
as well.
brat things.
He just
Oh,
got
really?
into the academy or whatever for casting.
good
And
for
then
him.
he did something that I just put myself on tape for, some sort of drama, which is very unlike things I normally do.
I saw you yelling on your reel. You were doing.
Oh, that I've yelled once.
And great scene in the reel. And
Been
doing
angry
drugs.
once.
So
Done drugs once.
let me ask you this: on Hotel Du Loone, was that your first multicam? Because it was our first multicam.
No, I've actually
Kimmel, I guess, and
Well, no, and I started like the first on-camera work. Some of the first on-camera work I ever did was on a Disney show called So Random, which was almost it was a spinoff of Sunny with a Chance, which was a Disney show like 10 years ago, maybe. And it was like almost like a SNL for kids, kind of like a sketch show.
all
for
that.
kids. It was like a
nice.
newer version of all that.
but without Keenan.
Without
No, Keenan
Lori.
was too cool at that point.
Yeah.
It was the cast of Sunny with a Chance. I don't know. Probably.
I know that book.
I know that. I mean, we've only done it once. I know a lot of our audience hasn't even experienced multicam. So could you?
How's it different from? And what do you prefer? Do you prefer multicam or single camera? And
I love multicam because I also I don't know, I'm not like I know like what 90% of the world is like procrastinating kind of people. I'm not a procrastinating person. Like I'm very type A. I like to, if I start something, I want to finish it, and I like kind of getting my stuff done. And that's what multicam is. Like you just get it done faster, and you can do so much more in a day. And
True.
you know, you take your one take and you do it. And even when I self-tape, I know like self-tapes are so popular now, and I have friends. Yeah, but I have friends who will take hours on like a couple pages.
Well, it does take a process because you got to sometimes edit it together, and then you got to get this and
Yeah,
that.
but
and
I like a one
sometimes
take
it takes
and-
like
I like
a while
a one
sometimes.
take and clean. It's like an
Yeah.
audition. I'm like, no, I can get it in one take and be clean. Let's do
You're
it.
like, it was out of focus. Oh well, let's send it in.
and like that's it. That's the best it's
We're
gonna
done.
get. We're
Camera was
done.
turned off. Who cares?
If it's meant to be, I'll book it.
Nice. But I mean, so the process, it does go a lot faster
Mm-hmm.
than that single cam. How is it? I mean, I guess it seems a lot better in a lot of different ways.
It's less cinematic when you do multicam. It's like, you know, you're
Yeah.
free to play to many cameras.
I like that. I also I don't know, maybe this is just my experience, but I feel like the set is always happier on a multi-cam than a single cam. I don't know if there's like more stress or like because it's taking longer, everyone's like getting a little bit more perturbed. But
Right.
I don't know. I've always had better experiences and more fun
Yeah.
on multicam.
Did the huge studio audience throw you off when you were doing Hotel Du Loone? I noticed.
Oh, the huge studio audience. Every Friday we did in front of I'm just kidding. That's what we did on Disney though.
That sounds like it'd be fun.
I wish I've done studio audience before.
Yeah.
I did 2.5 Men is studio audience too.
Yes.
But
With Ashton, not with Charlie.
yes, I did the Ashton. I did the final season.
Bikini Girl.
That wasn't Bikini Girl. She had a name. Don't talk her down like that.
Hey.
She may have been wearing a bikini, but she had a name.
That's
Jane
right.
Bikini.
Duh. No, but what was I gonna
So
say?
studio audience.
Oh, Hotel Du Loone did not have a studio audience, but it did have a laugh track, which is fun.
But you've done a lot of improv, so you're used to that.
Thank you for talking about the improv. I love the improv.
That's what you're known around.
He's seen your show a few times.
Don't lie to the people.
I've heard about it. You guys tour you're going to Alaska?
Yeah, we're
pretty
going
soon?
to Alaska. I'm on an all-female
Sweet.
improv team named
Nice.
Pumps, and you can follow us at PumpsComedy. I'll pimp that before I'll pimp my own Instagram.
Nice.
But it's really fun. We've done it for years. We used to be at a theater called iowest, which is
Yeah,
used to
they
be
clo-
here.
they closed down, right?
Really
Yeah.
sad. We used to do a weekly show there and host a cage match, which is just super fun. And since
Wow.
then, we just kind of tour and travel around. And improv
Nice.
and comedy sometimes is kind of like a guy's world. So we love like
Right.
being an all-female like presence in that.
A lot of times, guys, I feel, are more attracted, or like they just grow up being funnier and like.
Whoa, whoa.
No, guys,
Wow.
I'm separating
Not-
myself from this person.
Not that women can't be funny or aren't funny. It's just a lot of times like guys. Are
Well,
often,
I think it's the perception of the comedy world, and it's been like famous. You know, there's been way more famous male comedians
Yeah,
than female
sure.
comedians.
I think
so
there's
that's
a higher number of males are like originally went in for comedy. And so
Oh, totally. And it's the same with like improv and classes,
Right.
especially when I was taking class maybe like, I don't know, 8 years ago or so. It was like a lot of dudes in the class, and
Yeah.
maybe like a few girls.
Well, it could also be like a Hollywood thing. I mean, there seems to be more opportunity, obviously, for men as opposed to women, which is now changing. But like,
Yeah.
I think that could also apply to the comedy world too. It's just people look at it like, oh
people
no,
want ladies to be feminine and
exactly. Like, you know,
Sure,
they
and
look
like
at a funny girl and it's like, no.
brought up like the stuff about like bikini girl or girl, hot girl,
Right.
or like those things don't really, lend themselves to being funny that often. So I feel like as women and actresses, and especially being here like in my late teens and early 20s, you're not really told like, hey, with the way you look, you should take an improv class or a
Right.
comedy class.
Right.
But that's super helpful and super fun. And
Totally.
once I started doing that, I met some amazing women who were also kind of like in similar boats and going through the program at IO, and we formed a team together, and it's been super fun. And we're still doing it.
Sweet.
I have a question.
Yeah.
How do you get to tour? It's like
yeah, so I know
Yeah, I was
tons
gonna-
of improv.
lots of
like a
questions
lot
there.
of we have friends who are in improv troops. Now they're not touring in different countries, let alone in California.
Yeah.
How-
Well, I don't think, I wouldn't say like we're going on tour like a band goes on tour, but we do.
What's in
submit
your
to-
rider?
well,
Yeah.
I need Perrier and LaCroix.
Yellow M&Ms.
so, but still, the fact that you're doing it, it's
Yeah, no, we just submit to a lot of festivals. And right now we're a team
To
of 4
improv
girls.
festivals?
Improv festivals.
Okay.
And comedy festivals.
Okay.
And right now we're a team of 4 girls, and one of our girls, I want to say maybe 2 years ago, I can't believe it's that long ago, but she moved to New York. So it's a lot easier for us, instead of booking shows locally, where there's just 3 of us to go, say, do a show in DC or to do a show in New York.
Gotcha.
Or we're going to do a show in Alaska, and then maybe we'll get all 4 of us.
what's the Sundance of improv festivals?
Oh, there's a big one that I think it's actually going to be in LA this year, but it's called DCM that UCB
DCM?
puts on. Yeah,
Okay,
Del
cool.
Close Marathon, where it's like 48 hours of straight improv.
Oh, whoa.
Hardcore.
Sounds like a lot. So what is a typical, like, how does the festival work? Like, is it obviously like a competition of sorts, or how does that whole
No,
thing
they're
go?
actually, I don't think we've ever done an improv competition.
Okay.
Although I think, no, there have been things where there's like best of fest awards or stuff like that. But
Gotcha.
normally it's just a bunch of shows on a weekend with teams from everywhere around the country.
So everyone was just doing different types of shows, and like
Yeah,
you're
and
playing with the
people have-
audience?
Well, we
or-
have a forum where we do kind of like engage the audience a little bit.
Okay.
We kind of speed date someone in the beginning and then do long form about it.
Nice.
Yeah.
wow, what's the what's the shout out you get from the audience the most? Like, oh, doctor's office.
You're in an
or-
office.
Well,
Yeah.
the improv joke is that people always say pineapple.
Oh,
When you
really?
ask for something, yeah, I don't know
Oh,
why.
really?
I don't know, but
Yeah.
you guys don't do a ton of improv. You don't know that. But no, we don't actually get an audience suggestion. We ask someone in the audience, a guy or girl who wants to date all of us that are on stage at the same time, and then we speed date them.
Nice.
And
Cool.
based on
Gotcha.
the answers, we do improv.
We can do that right here.
We could do that. Just solo improv. It works really well.
There we
Pineapple.
Perfect. Just say pineapple to every question.
Just let it go, dude.
I'll enjoy pineapples.
That's it. Every question.
Cool. So then with the touring, like, how does that just kind of factor into all of this? Like, how did you? Okay, so first of all, you started doing improv when you moved here right away, or
No, I didn't do improv. I only took kind of level 1 at IO because
Okay.
I was told by someone that I would get more commercial auditions if I had like an improv theater on my resume, which I think
They
a lot
love
of
that.
actors are told. Yeah.
I mean, just put it on there. Who cares? Nobody
they're
knows
like-
if you take it.
Is that
I
how-
mean, that is the truth.
I mean, nobody knows.
Is that how you got the sexy smoked sausage?
Okay.
Oh, are you talking about Carl's Jr.? That's not how I got that. It doesn't have to do with improv. But I did actually start working on Kimmel from improv. One of my
Nice.
teachers at IO was a writer on Kimmel, and that's how I started
cool.
working on
Sweet.
Kimmel, which was a really cool.
Now, is
Yeah.
Guillermo playing a character, or is that really him?
It kind
Feels
of
like
seems
it's
like
him.
that's him. Yeah,
Feels like
I
it's
think,
him,
I think
yeah.
that's him. Isn't he? Doesn't he have a cool story too? His story is like he was like working in the valet or something.
Yeah,
and
he was like the
Jimmy
door
like
guy.
saw him
Yeah.
and was like, "Hey, come on over here."
Felt
So-
sorry for him.
I don't know, or like just like was like, "You're a cool character. Come on my show." And then ever since,
And that's it. I'm hoping he'll do that with me someday.
you gotta start working the door. Or
Taking out his trash.
Adam
Every day.
Adam Carolla was also wishing that would happen with him.
Guillermo got Adam Carolla.
Gosh darn it.
So then off of that, eventually you got into the improv, and then the touring. You said you would submit to festivals.
Yeah, we submit to festivals. Sometimes we'll get asked.
Okay.
We just did a festival in Tucson that was all female, so they asked us to come and headline that.
I'm so
which was
sorry
super
you had to
cool.
go to Tucson.
How was the
You know,
audience for
we
that?
like Tucson. We think it's fun. The audience there is it's one of my favorite improv theaters that's not in LA. Is I think it's called Tucson Improv Movement (TIM). It's awesome.
TMI.
I mean,
It's not TMI.
is the audience mostly female, or is it mostly male? Or
No,
hit or
that was
mix?
a really mixed audience. The coolest thing about performing in places that aren't LA is that a majority of the audience aren't other improvisers or actors.
Right.
They're not
Even
jaded.
Even at festivals, like we did a show in Chicago, we interviewed the guy and we're so used to the, whoever we interview being like, oh, I'm like an editor or I'm an actor or I'm a waiter or, and this guy was like a plumber. Like he was a career plumber. And it was, we were like blown away. We're like, oh my God, he's a plumber as a career. Like, this is his
And you were
job.
like, ironically a plumber, or?
He's like, really, I'm a plumber. We're like, wow, real job.
That's awesome.
That's cool though. That's really cool. No, I'm from Arizona. That's why it's like Tucson.
Oh, I enjoy Tucson.
yeah,
It has a good Pacific Beach, San Diego reference vibe.
All right. Fair enough.
From what I'm hearing, how you got the agent, how you got on Kimmel, it's all who you know in this town. It's like you were recommended.
Sheer tenacity is what I heard.
It's both, actually. No, I don't know if it's who you know. I've gotten agents and reps by just submitting stuff too.
Right.
I think it's all timing. It's like auditions too. Everything is kind of, you got to get a little lucky. Like you have to keep putting yourself out there, obviously, but some of it is just kind of timing. But hopefully they're looking for someone like you, or you fit what they're wanting. Meh.
True. Speaking of what they're wanting, some of our audience knew you were coming today.
Oh,
and
are they Hotel Du Loone fans?
I don't know. I think they're all.
We'll find out, won't we?
We'll find out.
I'm pretty excited about this piece of paper that is being pulled out of a pocket.
We have 3 questions.
It's been there for 4 days. It hasn't moved.
All these were gotten off of Reddit, and they're not all specifically to you. Some are just acting questions in general. But if you'll indulge us.
I've never been on Reddit, so I'm excited.
Okay, cool.
That's our whole audience is Reddit.
That's exactly for
Well,
now.
now tonight I'll go on Reddit.
There you go.
We'd love to claim them as our audience.
Yeah.
I actually just said,
Exactly.
hey, we're having a female actress on the pod. If you have any questions tailored toward that, we'd love to get them. And
I hope they thought I was someone really cool.
You are really cool. What do you
No,
mean?
but like really
Meryl
cool.
Streep.
Yeah, like they're like, oh, they're getting Meryl Streep.
And if you have a question at home, and if you want to hit us up, feel free to reach out on Gmail, on YouTube, on Twitter, all at Surviving Hollywood Podcast.
Which is a great name.
First question.
Thank
Great.
you.
Told
you.
How would
I was wrong, clearly.
How would you describe the women's movement today in terms of booking work? In mid-2019, my daughter wants to get into acting, and I'm just not sure.
I think it's the best time ever. Let me
deep.
take this one. No.
As a woman, you probably should.
Probably spooked from the Weinstein stuff and everything.
I understand that, but I mean, and I don't in any way like that's so serious and terrible things that have happened to a lot of women in the industry. I'm very fortunate that I never dealt with that. And so I feel like I can't speak on that level, but I also think it's kind of the time to be recognized as a woman, and it's a great time to come to Hollywood because more people are open to hearing your ideas or reading your scripts, or they even have quotas to like hire more women.
True.
And
That's
things,
what I thought
Yeah.
too.
which, hey, I get it. That came out of something awful that happened to make this happen, but
But it's good now.
It's good
It's getting,
to
well, it's
let-
getting better at least.
well, yeah, or kind of let the pendulum swing a little bit and
Right.
even out. And I know that happens with diversity and ethnicity too, and that's important to get
looking at
diversity,
me on
whether it
that
is
We'll just have to
the rest
wait.
of us are white.
Thank you. Thank you. If anybody's casting, by the way.
So,
This guy.
so is chauvinism? Is it almost gone? Have you ever dealt with it ever, or how
no,
do you?
I mean, look, I don't think chauvinism is ever going to be gone or dead. And there's always but that's always going to be there. I think it's like a pipe dream to think it won't be, but I think now is the time to recognize, just as an individual, no matter who you are or how you define yourself or identify, that you can have strength in that, and there's strength in identifying with who you are and writing from the basis of what you know. So if you are a female, writing a good female character or being able to portray a good female character, that's something you have that other people don't have.
True.
I mean, if
Yeah.
anything, right now is the time, I would say.
Yeah, I think
Compared
so too.
to 5 years ago or 10 years ago,
If you have
like
a son-
now is the moment.
If you have a son, he should probably stay at home.
No, look, if it's meant to be, it's meant to be, and no matter
Sure.
no matter who you are, or what you portray,
Yeah.
or what you play, I mean, there really is kind of a place for everyone, and I think it's not. I don't know, if the timing is right and you're the right person and that's what's meant to be, it'll happen, no matter
Yeah.
who you are, what gender.
And there's a lot
ethnicity
of
you
like
are.
more opportunity with streaming platforms, like all these different avenues now. Like,
I
there's
think
just a lot
that's
of
a really
opportunity
that's
too,
really true too,
you know?
because look, maybe I wouldn't have gotten a series regular role on a sitcom on the Disney Channel today, whereas I could have on Brat, which is a YouTube channel, which is, you know, it's a little more accessible. So I think there is like more accessible avenues to get into the industry too.
Or just give up. That too.
I mean, that's if there's something you'd rather do, then go do that.
So speaking on that, because you were talking about how you're a fan of some stand-up comedians, Theo Vaughn, others. Is there a future where Louis C.K. can make a comeback, or is it gone forever?
Good question.
What's your take as a female? Because we're all, you know, males.
And a fan of comedy.
And a fan of comedy.
Yeah.
Because there is a spectrum between Weinstein and Louis C.K. You know, they're, you know.
I have very strong feelings on this too, because I think there's a big difference between people who are sexually abusing people and people who say things that are offensive. Both are wrong, both are terrible, but you can't look at them through they can't have the same punishment, because that's then you're downplaying people that were abused, which is not okay. Yeah. So I mean, like, people learn from their mistakes, prisoners get out of prison, and
True.
things.
That's true. Murderers get out of prison.
So people can learn and come back, but I think we still have to be respectful. There's a way to, you know, have notoriety and be famous, and it's a different world that we're living in today, and people are sensitive, and it's important to be sensitive. I think in even like doing a podcast like this, like even with what we're saying now, it's important to be sensitive about, you know, the words you say and how you're representing not only yourself but actors or people in Hollywood, and it's important.
I was a little unclear, so
you think he's gonna be a good?
Well, I don't know. I honestly, I feel like I can't answer that. I don't know. I don't know enough about the situation. I don't know enough about him. I don't know enough to speak.
We try to get her on the record
knowledgeably about that situation.
Say it now.
Yeah, I think I like what you're saying. The important thing is that we keep talking about it, and we figure it out.
There's some sort of road to redemption, and we have to recognize that there's different levels of badness. That's basically what you're saying, right?
I think that's super true. Like, you can't. I don't know.
Nobody's perfect.
Nobody's perfect. Everybody makes mistakes, but there are mistakes that are unforgivable, and there are mistakes that people can learn from.
And didn't Louis C.K., he always asked his victims if hey, can you give me permission to jerk off in front of you?
Sometimes Sarah Silver.
Oh, that's what this. Okay, I need a little reminder of what the story was. Yeah. Okay. Now I remember.
Yeah. Now she's like, I'm totally cool with it. Just kidding.
He didn't rape a guy. Right?
Yeah, I mean.
Sarah Silverman said that. Oh yeah, sometimes I let it happen. Sometimes I said, not today, Louis.
Didn't she used to like kind of laugh it off? I guess, or was that? I don't remember exactly.
I don't know.
Don't quote me. I don't know.
It's so hard because it's hard because it's. I don't know. Like, even with politics, like we never know the full story.
Sarah Silverman said it wasn't always hard.
Yeah. Gross.
Right.
Just kidding.
But we never know the full story, and I think that's what's hard too. Like with politics or any of these things, like we're all regurgitating someone else's opinion that we heard, and we never get to truly formulate our own opinion on these situations. So I find it really hard to talk about things like this or anything, you know, political or social issues, when I feel like I don't get served it on like a blank platter. Like, I'm getting served someone's opinion. So it's hard not to, you know, to formulate your own opinion when information comes to you that way.
For sure.
Very true.
What else we got?
I promise you that question's the most polarizing. So we got past it. We got past it.
I think you answered it beautifully. So
next is Trump. Is that what we're gonna
this
do?
one's
perfect. Even better. I'm ready.
This question is pretty long, but I think it's worth it. I am an actor in LA, and I have a relationship with my co-star, a secret relationship.
Ooh.
We've been seeing each other for a few months, and it has continued into the show's summer hiatus. She's really special to me, and I do not see this as just a fling. Here's the problem. I'm 36, and she's 19, and I'm friends with her father.
Who's the executive producer?
No. I don't think he knows. We start taping for next season soon. What should I do?
Is this your question?
How long have they
I'm
been
not
dating?
36. A few months. But he says
It's all been legal. It's all been legal.
he says that he does not see it as a fling.
So his question is, what does he do? Is that the question?
They start taping in a few months. What would you do? I guess I don't know.
I'd tell this guy to tread lightly.
I mean,
Don't talk to her father about it.
No, I would definitely not do that.
well, okay, maybe I should share like a little personal story, I guess. That when I was in high school, I dated a guy who was older in college. And this guy, I remember being so embarrassed in high school, but he came to my house.
What was the age difference?
And he
Well, he was in college, so it wasn't that huge of a gap,
you can
right?
be 15 in high school.
That's
well,
true.
yeah, I was 15.
Oh, okay.
And he, I want to say, was 18 or 19. He came to my house and sat down with my parents on the couch and like asked them if it was okay to date me. And I remember like as a 15-year-old, I've never been so embarrassed. I was like mortified. I was like, oh my God, my parents are like gonna think I'm so weird. Like what is happening?
I would have told them no, go to college.
Well, I'd also like never dated a guy before, like at that age. I like never had any experience. I was like, oh my God, this is
Well, he didn't want to go to jail. I mean, you know.
That's logical
That
now.
makes sense. Yeah.
But like he did that, and my parents like they had like a good conversation. We did, and I dated him. Like it was nothing weird or bad.
How'd you meet him?
Like to me, it sounds like that guy could be weird because there's so many girls in college, and now he's going.
Well, he was like in the community college. We were doing community theater together, so we were like
gotcha.
we knew a lot of the same people.
We know the type.
Yeah, you guys have heard them. You guys know those guys. But it's kind of like this scenario. Like we were in the same group of people, the same little theater family that these guys, you know, this situation, they're in the same film family or TV family. So we knew each other that way, and you get to know someone really well. And
you hit it off.
But I think it was appropriate for him to go and ask my parents because I was underage. Now this girl's not underaged.
So it's
she
even
is
more
an
appropriate.
adult.
She just made it.
She's just
made the cut.
When you told your story at the beginning, I was like, "Oh, this is not right." But then you told your story, and I'm like, "Well, this is better than what, you know, the situation you just." I say go for it, buddy.
Yeah, you made it sound like it might be okay.
Yeah.
Well, I think depending on the situation, it might be okay. I mean, like everyone matures at different ages. I don't know, you know, what their relationship is, and as long as it's healthy and they're both treating each other with kindness and respect.
It doesn't sound healthy, but.
I mean, I don't think there's anything wrong with it because she's over 18, so really she could do whatever she wants to. I'd look at it more from the perspective of like it's such a huge age gap that like they're not going to probably have as much in common with a 19-year-old if you're 36. Like I feel like your life is on two different spectrums at that point. Now I don't know these people personally.
He just wants to fuck a hot 19-year-old. Let's just say.
Well, he said it's not a fling, dude. He said it's not a fling.
Yeah, because it's something that happens every week. So
all right, dude. Somebody clearly has gone through some stuff. Dude.
I'm not bitter. I'm just calling it for what it is.
This is your question,
I'm
isn't
on the
it?
side of the 19-year-old naive female.
Okay.
I don't know, but look, you got to give like girls more credit too, though. Like I feel like this girl. Look, she's on a show. Her dad's been in the business. I'm sure she's aware. I want to give her a little more credit that she's making a choice too. And if she's making a conscious choice to be with him, then I would hope that she wants to and she doesn't feel forced or pressured to do something she doesn't want to do. And as long as they're both consenting happily in a relationship together, I don't see anything wrong with that.
No, I don't think there's anything wrong with it either. I just look at it more from the perspective of like, if I was 36, I'd be like, it just to me it wouldn't match up. Like I'd be like, with the things that we're into is not the same, and it's like eventually it's just gonna get weird. She turns 21. What is she gonna want to do? Probably go out and have fun and like.
You never know though. I don't know. I feel like I can't judge. I'm not married.
Know.
I'm not.
We love judging.
Well, this is why we need your perspective.
Yeah.
Actually, in full disclosure, when I was 18, I dated a 15-year-old, but we were all in high school.
Statutory.
That is technically it.
Just admitted to.
Well, what'd you do?
It was the same, but
What was their name? What was their name?
For the record, for his sake and mine, we never did anything that would be considered.
Okay.
Yeah, because I was very innocent growing up.
There you go.
Do you tell the dad though, if you're the 36-year-old man, do you tell the dad that you're friends with?
Just so awkward.
I mean, that is really awkward, but I think eventually, if you want to
spend time with her,
well, if he really wants to have a serious relationship with her, and has a relationship with her parents, they gotta know at one point, like, so it's gonna happen. I think if he's serious about dating her, yeah, the conversation has to come up with the parents because
totally
it can't go any further at some point.
I agree.
I like it.
Yeah.
Sage advice.
That's my sage 30-year-old advice for this 36-year-old. Also, if you're over 6 foot and it doesn't work out with the 19-year-old, hit me up.
There you go.
And we have one more question. I almost didn't.
Well, I wanted to ask a couple questions.
Exactly. One more from the audience. And
then back to.
Then we ask like current event questions.
Back to boys.
Exactly. And I almost didn't want to ask this because it kind of has a negative.
Let's not be negative. Let's be positive, buddy.
But I am.
No, you know what? Maybe we should skip it.
No, we're gonna say.
Wait, now I have to know.
because this is part of your world. Again, I asked for specific questions involving you. This person says, I work on a kid show. Some of the best experiences of my life.
Why are all these in your handwriting, by the way?
Because I copied them from Reddit. And the kids are awesome. So I work on a TV show, great experiences, and the kids are awesome. But there is this one kid that's very annoying. He's one of the leads, so I can't say anything. And he isn't mean and he isn't rude, but he's just annoying. How do you deal with that? What do you do?
Well, first of all, I have to say that one of my, which I thanked my lucky stars every day because on Hotel Du Loone we filmed like 3 episodes a week, which is like insanity. It's like soap opera sitcom.
Right.
And the 2 main kids, Haley and Toby, were not annoying. They were wonderful. And it was like the most shocking, wonderful surprise that like if I was playing with them and we play like little silly improv games and stuff in between takes, they were fun and funny. I don't know. I'm so lucky. So
They seemed
unfortunately,
chill. They seemed really chill.
no, they were really chill. They were like amazing comparatively to, and there wasn't like a lot of space on that set either. So it
Right.
wasn't like I had a lot of private space to myself, but they were so respectful, and maybe because they were so busy too filming. But unfortunately, I don't super relate to this question because I have never. Oh, I keep hitting the mic.
Well, we shouldn't have put that right in front of your.
Yeah,
we,
it's
we,
right in
we-
front of my hand. My
yeah.
just
A lot of times people hit him on the side.
We should put him on the. We should have put it on the
We
side.
shouldn't
doesn't
have him
matter.
here at all because
It doesn't matter. But no, unfortunately I can't relate to that. And I had the most lovely experience with 2 of the most amazing child actors I've ever met. So I was super lucky.
Well, I'd love to take the question then if.
What you would do with an annoying child?
Yeah. Well, was it specifically a kid or just an annoying?
It was just
It's a kid.
one annoying kid.
Listen, the only way, buddy, that you're ever going to succeed in this town is if you just let it all brush off your shoulder. These annoying people, these skeevy, just people. You just got to be positive. Be like, yeah, buddy, I'm on your side, and then you're going to work with them
fake.
again.
You would be fake.
No, you just brush it off your shoulder.
Wait, but this is so. My dad like always says this quote that like totally relates to that I love, where he says like, "Be like a duck," because ducks have that oil on their back and the water just like falls off their back. So you got to be like a duck and just let things fall off your back. So that's
Oh.
good advice for that
I
question.
like that,
Yeah.
Dad.
Yeah,
That'd
it's a good dadism.
That'd be good on a T-shirt. Now you make your own clothing line, right?
Just be like a duck.
Yeah. Yeah.
Be
don't-
like a duck. I did.
That was like a good leave. I'm just gonna ignore that whole topic.
I remember that.
Well, because it's not prevalent anymore. That's from
Oh, okay.
IMDb like 10 years ago. But
Anyways,
There you go.
Okay.
be like a duck.
So, okay. Yeah, I think that answered your question, buddy.
Yeah.
We
I
lo-
hope it did. I apologize that you're working with an annoying child, and
they're all annoying. Just get used to it.
mine was amazing. Mine were amazing. So
Except for the
for
hotel
you.
one.
Write us back and let us know if we helped.
They're
Actually,
gonna be like, no, you didn't. You made me feel worse.
Not at all.
send her a DM and then she'll let it.
Okay.
That's right.
Just DM me.
Just make sure you tag us on that. Oh,
No, only that 36-year-old hot actor.
there you go.
There it is.
There you go.
Hey, before we get into at the end of the podcast, I like to ask like current event questions, kind of just like a lightning round.
Oh, this is gonna be terrible because I'm like really bad at keeping up with current events, but I will try my hardest.
But before that, I did want to know if you have an awesome either Ben Schwartz story or an awesome Ashton Kutcher story.
Ooh,
Probably Ben.
I just saw Ben Schwartz. This is so embarrassing. I'm sure he won't watch it, so it doesn't matter. But I just saw him
watching.
at, and definitely listening. I just saw him at a going away party for a friend of mine and her boyfriend that are moving to Atlanta. And he definitely didn't know who I was. And that sucked. I also, this is also a relevant story, kind of. But I also matched with someone on a dating app who I had worked on.
Another actor?
Show. Yeah, actor. And I knew that I knew him. He did not
He had
know
not.
that we were, but it wasn't like we worked on the same. Like, it wasn't even like you guys worked on the show that I was on. We didn't really scenes together. I had scenes with him, like
Oh, yeah, that's-
all my scenes and multiple scenes, like 3 scenes talking to him.
He's like, "How'd you know I was in the show?" And you're like,
Yeah.
well, at one point I was like, "Hey,
"It's
I
on your
know
reel,
you."
buddy.
I was
I'm on
like,
your reel."
I know you." And he was like, "You do? From what?" And I was like, we worked together, this thing." And he was like, "Oh yeah." And then I never heard from him again.
And
So
then
he was like,
ghosted.
Oh, how awkward.
Wow.
cool.
I think that would have been a great.
That'd have been
connection.
perfect.
I thought it wasn't that weird, but he obviously did. So anyway,
Blocked.
that's not really
That
a
wasn't
Ben
a Ben
Schwartz
Schwartz
story,
story.
but
Yeah.
I really twisted it.
So did he pretend like he knew you or not? Or he just completely was just like,
No, and it wasn't even like I went up to say hi. Like he was,
Okay.
in a conversation with someone else, and I was like, oh, well, I don't think he'd recognize me if I did say hi, so I'm just gonna let it go. But he also does amazing improv. He does a 2-person improv, which I end up doing a lot of 2-person on Pumps because usually there's just 2 of us that I'll play. And his 2-person is really phenomenal, which is also not a great Ben Schwartz story, but I'll just pimp out his improv team too.
He's good. I've seen him in Middle Ditch.
That's what I'm talking about.
Oh yeah. He's
I've
so
seen that.
good.
Really good.
So good.
Really good. And who else did you ask about? Ashton Kutcher?
mm-hmm.
I don't know if I have a great story about him. I do remember like just 2.5 Men being so impressed with John Cryer.
They
I'm
were
not
they were
really
impressed
good.
with him.
I was impressed with
you
him.
were impressed
I've
with
never
him.
in
He
my
seems
life.
like a cool dude.
He's super with it when it comes to just like.
That's it. Like I've never seen someone so prepared. Like even rehearsals or run-throughs.
Really?
Like every time he would just nail it. Like he never missed a line. He never missed a beat. He was like the
Wow.
most. I've never seen
You can
a
tell-
more professional, cool actor.
Just the way he like takes the beats on the show, and you can just tell he's like super funny.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but like every time, like there's
Yeah.
not even a learning curve. Like he just nails it from the get-go. I just thought he was really cool.
He has been doing it for like 8 years or whatever.
Yeah, he's
so.
well, a long
Yeah,
time
but
on
I
the
just
show.
I don't know. When you see someone like that, you're like, oh
Yeah.
man,
True.
you're cool.
Right.
Like-
Total pro.
Yeah.
Makes your job easier too.
Well, it makes everyone's job easier.
Yeah.
It's so cool to see that.
Except for Charlie Sheen.
Hey.
Made him look bad.
Very
Okay,
cool.
cool. So let's get to some. So yeah, this podcast is not just a podcast among friends about the industry.
Oh.
I know we fooled you, but it's also
I was tricked.
a product of its time. This is 2019, and we already asked like some kind of 2019 type questions.
Yeah.
But we'll just go through like a speed round. You can say, I'll give you topics, and you can say as much or as little on these topics as you'd like.
Everyone, the answer's gonna be pass.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, let's start easy. What's your favorite TV show?
Oh, I love Game of Thrones and it's coming back.
Me too.
Never seen it.
Who's gonna be the?
What?
Who's
I know.
There's no Mexican guys.
Is it?
Whoa.
Oh, is there?
Dude, yeah, there is. Pedro
No, there is.
Pascal.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and he's great.
Come on. The story of how he got that role is crazy.
I don't know that story.
What is it?
Is that he coaches other actors, and there was an actor that he works with that was auditioning for that role,
Stop.
and he was coaching them for it, and he was saying that like when he read the sides, he's like, I'm perfect for this, like I'm so perfect for this role, like I want to do it, and so he actually finished coaching the actor, and he didn't want to step on toes, so he actually reached out to the actor and was like, hey, I feel like I'm a really good fit for this, like would you be cool if I actually try to audition for this as well? And the other actor was like, yeah, it's totally fine.
Huge mistake.
Yeah, that was a big mistake.
I don't remember exactly how I was able to get an audition for it. He talked about it, but he sent in a tape and he got it.
And he's so good in it
Wow.
There it is.
So good. That's like some of my favorite episodes.
Who will be the final winner of the throne?
Oh, I don't know. I did meet Jamie Lannister in real life Tuesday night, and I was very excited.
That guy's character is really good.
He's a great
Yeah,
actor.
he's really good. He's so good. Everyone on that show is so good. That's
But,
why I love it.
but you called it Jamie Lannister?
You go to all the
We'll
Hollywood
see.
parties with all the Hollywood celebs?
Oh, I'm just really popular, you guys. No.
Was that a question, dude?
No. Next question.
No, it's rhetorical.
Okay.
Your thoughts on Bitcoin?
Pass. I know nothing.
Okay.
Completely know nothing. I just know when I was in other countries, some other countries took it. Cool.
Nice.
That's all I
Nice.
know.
All right. Well, that's something.
Your thoughts on Build the Wall?
Pointless.
Okay.
Oh, that's a shame. Just kidding. Just kidding.
The new Aladdin movie. Are you looking forward to it?
Oh, I'm a classic Disney lover. So like the new Aladdin and the new Dumbo don't really do
Not
it for
feeling
me.
it?
Yeah, I'm not. And even in the new Lion King, like I'll see
Whoa,
them.
whoa,
I know.
whoa.
That's
Blasphemy.
a big. That is blasphemy. But I love the original Lion King. It's
Me
like
too.
one of my favorite
So
Disney
good.
movies. So it's hard to see it any other way.
But do you think Will Smith will be rapping Never Had a Friend Like Me?
I can only hope. Because look, you
dreaming.
can't compare to
Robin Williams.
Robin Williams. So he's got to do something different because you can't.
Hopefully he does make it his own.
He's got to do apples
Yeah.
to oranges. Like you can't do
Right.
apples to apples with that.
True.
You want to ask any of these other questions?
Why are they like borderline not appropriate?
Yeah, they're all appropriate.
Oh.
Just- we already covered all the good ones.
All right, just pick one last one.
Johnny.
No, you can just pick one, dude.
What is this?
Nah, we're good.
Okay.
Great.
I actually I had another question, kind of backtracking a lot, but with acting on multicam versus like a single cam, do you feel like the acting changes? Like, do you feel what you do is different? You have to calibrate to it.
100%.
Okay. So
100%.
what's the typical process for that?
I find doing multicam a lot easier coming from theater and improv and things that are bigger.
Right.
And you can be bigger, especially on a kids show.
Right.
That's so different than something.
You have to entertain almost. Does it feel that way?
Yeah, or just it's still grounded, but it's just you can go way further where you can't do that. You're silly if you do that on a
Right.
single cam.
Right.
So I like that.
Okay.
That to me, I have more fun, and that comes easier to me.
So
than
that's the
a single
preference
cam.
then, pretty much.
For me, yeah. But I also just haven't done as much single cam, so
Okay.
I've liked it when I've done it. Just haven't done as much.
Johnny's the king of single cam.
I was curious. Okay.
Yeah, only single cam every day.
I've never done multicam, so
He gets an audition
hopefully
for a multicam,
one day.
throws it in the trash.
I know, right? I know. I just had an audition for Young and the Restless yesterday, and it was
Not a multi.
it was interesting.
That's not multi?
I thought that was multi.
No, it is
isn't
multi,
it?
but it's different multi. It's
Yeah,
like,
it's very
it's not
over
sitcom,
dramatic,
yeah.
and it's like,
Right.
yeah.
don't know.
They always say the secret to that is anytime you're auditioning for that is pretend like you have a secret.
I've heard that too. I've heard that's the secret
just
when
like-
you take headshots. Is you just pretend you have a little dirty little secret.
I was like, I'm not gonna tell you what it is, but
But tell us.
I don't know. I don't know what it is. That's why I don't know.
Did you book it?
No, I mean, I just auditioned for it yesterday.
So you don't know?
I don't think
Okay.
I don't think I'm gonna get it. The
Well,
guy actually really liked me. I could tell. Shout out to Greg.
Oh, I know, Greg.
Really?
What?
Do you?
Yeah.
He was a really nice guy. But I did it. I was so surprised how many times he wanted me to do it. Like I did it I think 5 or 6 times.
But that to me is like one of my favorite things about being an actor though. Like I feel much more gratified if I go in the room and I do it a couple times. I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
they like me. Even if you do it once, they're like, oh, that was perfect. Great job. Thank you. I'm like, didn't book that.
Right.
I guess it's because I'm not used to that. Because usually I feel like it is like a one and done. You just go in there, you do it, and you're just like,
Or two.
thank you.
Yeah, I'm like,
And you're just like,
great.
cool.
I'm so glad I drove all the way out here.
Yeah, but it was interesting because he gave me he's like, oh, that was really good, but he's like, how about on this line you do this, and on this line try this, and I was like, okay, and then we would do it, and he's like, oh, that was really good, and how about trying to do this, and I was just like, this is different because usually
I wouldn't write yourself off. You
know
might
what I
have
mean?
you might have booked that or get a callback for that.
I don't know, we'll see.
Sounds pretty promising.
What was the role?
It was a
You were
guy,
young or restless?
both. It was a guy that had recently got out of prison, but he was super reformed, and so now he was trying
Are
to.
you allowed to say this? I'm only saying this because a couple times that I've auditioned for some soap, sometimes there's
they freak out a little bit?
little NDA on the door, so I just don't want to get you in trouble.
Didn't sign anything, so
Okay.
I think it's free game.
All right.
Yeah, basically the character was out of jail and now trying to reintegrate back into society, but he was super eager, super earnest, not hardened about life, and now he was with this guy who was coaching him, getting ready for a job interview. That's basically what the role was.
That's a nice storyline. That's
Yeah,
a nice
it's kind of
role.
cool. But then I found out that the guy was actually doing it because, thanks to Greg, he was doing it because he was kind of trying to hook up with some girl or something, and so he's trying to impress her by doing this.
So he's a little slimy.
That's the secret.
That's
See?
the dirty secret.
That's
He's
the
a little bit
dirty
of a
secret.
slime ball.
There
Was
it
he
is.
slimy or just in love?
The way you described it, he sounded a little skeezy, but maybe he was just a romantic at heart.
Don't know. I've never seen the show. That's part of the problem.
Wait, so you guys don't do that thing? I had a girlfriend tell me the other day too that anytime you audition for something, you're supposed to watch at least 3 episodes to get the tone of the show.
I
You guys
definitely
don't do
watch-
that?
Definitely know
I've
the
seen
tone.
clips and stuff of it. I totally get it.
Yeah.
If
My-
you've seen one soap opera, you've seen them all.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
That's why you
it's-
didn't book it.
No, my mom used to watch General Hospital
Oh, so it's
religiously.
ingrained.
So
in your
I remember
system,
as
yeah.
a kid seeing that on TV, and I'm like, I don't get it, but okay.
You will. If it pays your bills, you'll love that.
Will
soap opera.
absolutely get it. Greg, please call me.
Please, oh, please.
Done being desperate.
Very cool. Well,
On that note of desperation, that's where I would
exactly.
leave.
on that note to end on, Alex, appreciate you coming in today.
Yeah. Any
I
other
loved
questions?
it.
We'd love if you would just plug all your stuff.
Yes.
Oh
Now's
my
the time.
gosh, let me plug everything. First and most important. No, I'll give you mine first. You can follow me. It's Alex Rose 720. Don't have my last name because it's weird. And then you can follow Pumps, which is Improv, which is PumpsComedy at PumpsComedy on all platforms.
And when you
Nice.
do, either way, comment below saying that you saw her on Surviving Hollywood. So she
You
knows.
should. Yeah, no,
Boom.
actually.
She knows our reach.
Yeah, I would like to know their reach. I just follow them. So
Yeah.
you should follow them too.
Nice.
There it is.
I like it.
Where can they find us?
That's how we ended. You can find us at Surviving Hollywood Podcast on all social media fronts or Gmail, and they know how to find us.
Yeah. Any last
On
things?
Bumble.
Any
You can
last?
find them on Bumble.
The group Bumble account.
One day. Any last things? Any shows coming up? We can catch you at or something.
No, we're just going to Alaska with Pumps, which is super fun.
We have a huge following in Alaska, so great.
Good.
All their followers in Juneau are going to come to our show, and we can't wait. You can also, if you guys want to watch Hotel Du Loone and check out the episode
Yes.
that 75% of this table are in.
That's right.
It's on YouTube. Check it out.
Do it.
I was a PA on it.
Oh, so 100%.
Just kidding. Anyway, thank you again for coming here, and we
course.
appreciate it a lot, guys. Anything else? Any last final words?
That's it. This was a pleasure.
It was a pleasure, y'all.
All right. Well, thanks for tuning in, guys. We will see you next time.
Outro music.
Sounds crispy, dude.